Welcome everybody to the PCDC Motorsport ACC League. Today I'll be directing and commentating. My name is Senastofmail, also known as Husky. And before we go to qualifying, let's take a look at how our track looks for today. So today we're at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. We're in Midrand, South Africa. The track has 16 turns and is 4.529 kilometers long, or 2.814 miles long. Kyalami is a very high-speed track and is very wide as well at some point. So we'll see, probably see some cars with some. With the good top speeds perform well here. For our race format, we're looking at we just had the 30-minute warm-up that is coming to a close. We'll have 20 minutes of qualifying and a 90-minute race. So today will be an endurance race. Oh.
Sound muted.
Today will be an endurance race, and we'll have one mandatory pit stop. We'll also have a rolling start. And as before we go to qualifying here, let's take a quick look at the standings. So in first, we're still looking at Vincent Erbrich in first there with 110 points. He finished first last race at Bathurst. So in second we see Benny Benzel with 74 points. In third, Marcus Lawrence, who had a bit of a tough time last time at Bathurst, so we see him drop down to third. Then we have Jordan Wansink in fourth, with Domi Person close behind. And then we have Shane Thomas, I believe, in sixth, Hurst in seventh, Arby in eighth, Davies in ninth, Layson in 10th, Daniels in 11th, and 12th the Witt. As you can see from from PA to P15, 16, that's all to play for. They are really close together. 10, 11, and 12, they are on the exact same points total, which is 26. As we go further down in 17, we have Rats, then London Hudding, then Phillips in 19th, Doug Cooper in 20th, Smelt in 21st, Day in 22nd, Odedov in 23rd, Walsh in 24th, 25th we have Fretwell, and 26th we have Preview. And then 27 to 30, they haven't scored any points. So what that means is that they basically haven't completed a race yet. So everyone that competes and completes the race gets a participation point. It means that these people haven't completed the race yet, basically. And that should mean that we are coming to the close of the warm-up here. See how long there is left. There's about 1 minute left, I believe, before we head into qualifying. Take a look here as the warm-up is coming to a close here. We should be going to qualifying any second now.
Green light, go, go, go.
For that, that's just a little workaround I have to do there to actually start spectating. So we'll head into 20 minutes of qualifying right now. We'll see again if Vincent Erbrich is the man that can... Oh. Okay, there we are. Don't know what happened there, but take a look here. So we go down to Vincent Erbrich. Yeah, like I said before, he'll be looking to put in another good performance as he's gone out the lead quite a bit in the championship standings. You can see Marcus Lawrence in the background there. Suspect those will be they're gonna be in the top 3, what it looked like from in practice anyway. And then Alpha Lobster as well, he looked really strong. As Vincent Erbrich comes to the start-finish line here, he'll start his first flying lap. Still can't get over the fact how wide this track is. It's hooking up that first section quite cleanly, it seems. I'm guessing we'll look at Vincent or Lawrence to set the bar here soon. Ooh, a little bit wide there from Vincent and Erbrich. I don't know if that will invalidate his lap. Not looking too bad, this opening lap from Vincent Erbrich. Ooh, really close to the grass there. There we have, looks like we'll have 23 people on the grid, which I believe will be our biggest turnout so far, so that's good to see. Go into the last corner. You'll see what kind of pace Erbrich can set here. 141.8. We'll have Lawrence close behind, I think. Ooh, 3,000s between Erbrich and Lawrence for the moment. Look at some other people. Here we have Martin de Knecht. I believe it was the teammates with Domi Person, both rolling in the Porsche. See the likes of Shane, Bretwell and Tuck getting laps in, Van den Hudding as well. 0.6 seconds behind. The Knecht here in the last sector. Meersman also got a lap in. A bit hard on the curb there and settled him. As he comes to the last corner here, and it's run down to the line. Let's see what he can do. Goes into 5th for the moment. We also see Benny Benzel in 3rd and Domi Person in 4th, only 9/10 behind the leader. It's really good qualifying for Domi Person so far. Take a look here at another driver, Alex Fretwell in the McLaren. He's looking to improve his time. 1.8 seconds up at the moment, so can keep this lap together, that'll move him up to around 7th, I think. Not mistaken. 6th, actually. See what he can do there. Still 1.8 seconds up. Ooh, he clattered the curb there. Might lose a little bit of time there. It's not going to be good for the car suspension. Only 7/10 up now. Let's see where that moves him. Oh, I think he invalidated his lap. See here. Take a look at Domi Person. He's looking very racy today. 2/10 up at the moment, coming into the last sector. Good run there. Avoided a massive sausage curb into the last corner. Good run out of the last corner. See what that brings him up to. Ooh, 6/10 behind our leader. Domi looking very competitive today. Got some other people, maybe. Also see the likes of Paul Davies getting a lap in 7th. Kessel in 9th, Assels in 12th. Another person that just got their lap in is Hafiz. He's about 3 seconds behind, 3.5. And so far, I think our leaders are on an out lap again, but doesn't look like they're improving so far. Let's take another look at someone who might be improving here. Paul Davies, 3/10 up at the moment, which will move him up a couple of positions. Ooh, a bit wide there. That might have invalidated his lap. Looking at the relative, that I think it did. Yeah, no improvement for Paul Davies. Still about 1.1 seconds behind. Take a look here at Shane. He's moved up into 10th there. That was a clean lap. As we see, the pack is pretty much from 3rd onwards. Everyone seems to be quite close together. Oh, as Ian Assels in goes into P5. Also in the Porsche. Right in front of Domi Person. Yeah, from 3rd all the way up to 10th, there's only about half a second between that whole field there. See a bit further down the grid if anyone's improving. Let's go on board here with Eddie Phillips in the Ferrari. Coming into the last sector as well. He's a couple of tenths up, so he might make up a position or two. Ooh, as he hit the last corner wrong. That's a shame. He could have improved quite a bit there. Still in 19th. Two people still need to get their times in, which is Paul and Jung. Not sure if they are... yeah, so Paul is out on track. Jung is also out on track. So still 10 minutes remaining though, so they have plenty of time to get their lap in. Oh, and as we speak, I see Alpha Lobster has gotten a time in there. Yeah, there we go. He's, I think the only... Yes, together with Paul, he's the only on the running in the field here. Oh, as we look at Marcus Lawrence, he has actually improved his time. So we're down to a 141.4, which is almost 4 tenths ahead of P2. That must have been quite a good lap there. I know earlier during the week, Marcus Lawrence did a couple of races on Kyalami, so He might be used to the track already. I'm guessing for a lot of people this might be a new track because it's not that popular. Take a look here at Vincent Erbrich, who is at the moment 3/10 up. He is looking to hunt down Marcus Lawrence with that ultimate lap. Flying through those fast corners on this Kyalami track. He comes into the last sector, he's 4/10 up. We might actually see a swap for the lead here. If he can hook up the last corner here. He runs down to the line. Oh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. What does he do? Yes, he improves. He is 800ths ahead of Marcus Lawrence now. Man, these two have been going at it all season. Their qualifyings are always really close together. Guess we'll have to see if Marcus Lawrence has anything to throw at him. We'll go here to Alpha Lobster in the Honda. Once again, he's looking to improve his time as well. And I just saw that Jos Meersman went from 18th to 16th and then back to 17th. See if Alpha Lobster can hook up the last sector here. He's looking very positive on the relative. Runs a tiny bit wide in the last corner there. See how much he improves. Ooh, there we go. Up into 4th. Man, the field is looking really close today. Good performance there from Alpha. See if there's anyone else improving his time. Saw Jasper Smelt in the Aston Martin. 2013 Aston Martin, might I add. Probably one of the best sounding cars on the grid. Seem to have gone for a simple white livery with red highlights. Not improving his time at the moment. Not looking bad in that old machine. See here, Young in the new Aston Martin. Just looking to make a couple of positions here. If he gets this lap in, 6/10 up. Might see him move to 13th here. 14th actually, right behind Jasper Smelt. As we have 6 minutes remaining in qualifying, obviously we are doing a 90-minute race today. So qualifying has been extended by 5 minutes. Any big improvements at the moment? Take a look here at Benny Benzel. He's looking to improve his time as he's currently 2/10 up in the red and black Nissan GTR. A mean looking machine. Seems to have lost a little bit of time in the last sector here. Not sure if he'll improve. Oh. And he runs wide there, straight into the pits for Benny Benzel. A look here, Martin de Knecht, teammate of Person. He's looking to improve his lap. Ran a little bit wide there. Don't know if that'll compromise his lap. Looking pretty even on the relative at the moment, Marta and the Knecht. Two tenths up now for Marta and the Knecht. Going into the last corner, still 2 tenths up. That might see him move to 6th, I believe. See what he does here. Yes, 6th position for Martijn de Knecht in the Porsche. As we see now, I just saw there. Vincent Erbrich has improved the time of Lawrence. He's now 1/10 ahead of Lawrence. These two, it's gonna be a very close race there. If you can show some love to some others there. They look at Jos Meersmans. Currently in 19th. He'll be looking to improve his time. Going into the last corner as well. See if he improves any bit. Nope, doesn't look like it. I think he invalidated his lap also somewhere. As we have 3 minutes to go, it doesn't seem like there is a lot of big movers anymore. Everyone will probably put their best laps in. Take a look here at Paul Davies. Oh, just pushing it a tiny bit too hard there. Must say though, probably one of my most favorite liveries there. Just pops out of the eye. We look, people will be trying to get their last laps in here. 2 minutes remaining. No big movers anymore. Currently we're seeing Erbrich, Lawrence and Benzel for 2nd and 3rd. Let's actually take a look here. Gordon one sync there, as he'll also be looking to improve his time. Currently in 5th. Yeah, like I said, no big movers here. Everyone seems to be drawing kind of even with their previous times. No improvement for one thing there. Also one of the better looking liveries on the grid, I think. Nice white and blue on the GTR. Looks real good. Gordon one sync really pushing his machine there, trying to hook up this lap. Alright, so drivers have about 2 minutes to put in their last lap here. Actually take a look at Vincent Erbrich, as he's looking strong through this last sector. He is actually looking to improve his time here at the death. See if he does. Oh, 1/10 in it. He improved 1/10, 41.2. Strong, as most people have finished off their laps. If there's any improving. Someone will be finishing up their laps. Yeah, most people are in the pits already. Paul Davies having a run towards a line. Nope, he'll be stuck in 10th. Last one on track will be Meersman. If he can improve. Alright, Meersman doesn't improve. We'll take a small 5-minute break now. And then we will be right back with you with the full grid rundown. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright, as we're back, we're gonna go over the starting grid if possible. Oh, that doesn't seem to work. 1 second here. Yeah, we'll just skip that for now. Apologies for that. We'll have the grid going on here. There we go. We'll just go over it manually once again. So in first we'll have Vincent Erbrich. In second we'll have Marcus Lawrence. In third Benzel. In fourth Alpha Lobster in the Honda. Then we have PCDC, or Jordan Wansink I should say. Then in sixth the Knecht. In seventh Van den Hudding. In eighth Assels. In ninth Domi Person. In 10th, Paul Davies in the Ferrari. In 11th, we have Shane. Then we have Morgan Short. Here. That should be better for audio. Where was I? I think it was around Paul Davies. So then we have Shane in 11th, Short in 12th, Fretwell in 13th. 14th, we have Assels. Then we have Nick Daly in 15th with the only Lambo on the grid. Then we have Smelt in 16th. Then we have Hume in 17th. Kessel in 18th. 19th we have Meersman. Chuck in 20th. Hafiz in 21st. 22nd we have Paul. And 23rd to round out the grid we have Phillips. So let's take a look on board here with our race leader Vincent Erbrich. We'll be looking, we're coming up to the last corner here. We see the field bunching up. Alright, as we come to the last corner here, should see everyone bunch up nicely side by side here. Now it's waiting for the green flag.
Green light,
there we
go,
go.
go, go.
And we're off. Round 6 at Kyalami for 90 minutes of racing. As we have our long run down in turn 1 here, it looks like Marcus Lawrence has had a bad run. Gotten overtaken by quite a lot of people. Vincent Erbrich has had a good run, as we see Jordan Wansink going side by side with Lawrence there, taking a third. Benny Benzel in second. Erbrich with a good start. Benzel right on his heels though. Marcus Lawrence dropped down to 4th from 2nd position. So quite a bad start for him. So as we see here, something went wrong with Alpha Lobster. You can see a quick replay. Nope. Replay is not long enough, but seems like he had him off somewhere. That's a shame for him. Return right back to the front here, as Vincent Erbrich is already pulling somewhat of a gap. It seems. Already about 6/10 in it. Some others following through quite well. We have the Knecht in 6th, Assels in 5th, Hudding in 7th. Erbrich running quite wide there. Already about a second ahead for Vincent Erbrich. In third here, Jordan Wansink closing right up to the back of Erbrich there. It's a really long run up here to the first corner. Look a bit further down the pack. We have Meersman in 20th. Who is, let's see. Oh, Hafiz went into his pit box, but he only had a drive-through, so that must be a mistake on his end. He didn't actually need to go into the pit box. Let's see here in third. Wansink is closed right up to Benny Benzel. And he'll be looking to put some moves on, maybe. We go into the long downhill section. 3 minutes into the race, Vincent Eric still pulling that demanding lead. It seems for Marcus Lawrence, he's struggling to hang on there to the back of the likes of Wansink and Benzel. Who as Wansink has a really good run out of the corner there. Right on the back of Benny Benzel. And now quite a bad run for Wansink there. And a good run for Lawrence coming out of that corner. And they all seem to be spaced out quite the same. Let's see here. Ooh, someone that has dropped quite considerably is Domi Person. He must have been off to a bad start. Running in 11th at the moment. I believe he started in 7th, I want to say. So must have had a bad start going into... Oh, he has a bit of damage on the side, on the right side there of his car. Obviously, we have a long time to go here in this endurance race, so he'll have plenty of time to make up whatever went wrong in the first couple there. Everyone's kind of spaced out as I see behind the only person. A little bit of a battle, I thought. Oh, I don't... Paul Davies looks like he disconnected, maybe? I saw him on the track there a moment ago, but he just seemed to disappear. That's a shame. A bit wide there for Fretwell. Person right on the back of him. Really good exit for Person. He'll be looking to put the move on here. Go to the front stretch. Goes alongside. Has the inside, and of course it's a very wide track here, so I can use a lot of it. Outbreaks him into T1. Oh, side by side still. Guys are not letting off, still side by side in these first corners here. And going into the S section, Person pulls ahead. Ooh, a bad run out of that corner, which allows Fretwell to... Oh, never mind, he got an even worse run. Domi Person back up into 10th. As he's looking to put the pace on. Oh yeah, but that right side of that car is looking a bit battered there. If there's any other fights developing, I can see Shane here, who's now going up to the back of Fretwell. Fretwell seems to be struggling here in these opening stages. Shane is gonna pull right onto the back of him there. Don't know how the Bentley is BOP'd at this track, but usually it has a bit of a quite good top speed. Going into the last sector now. See if Shane can close the distance, maybe set up a move for on the start finishing line. Oh, he has a good run. Let's see if the slipstream does anything for him. No, he's too far back. Closes right up under braking though. Shane, our only Bentley running in the league, I believe. Let's see if there's anything else going on further down the field. Look here, I thought something was happening here, but doesn't look like it. I think Ian Assels just overtook. Ooh, that car is looking quite battered as well. Seems he had some trouble in the opening couple of minutes. But his pace is looking quite strong with a 45.6 last lap. I think he'll be trying to catch the people in front of him. Take a look here, as I saw a bit of a change for position. Benny Menzel dropped down to 4th, and Marcus Lawrence is closed back up to Wansink there. Must have been a disappointing start for Lawrence though, dropping back from 2nd to 4th. And he'll be looking to carry a bit more pace throughout the race and actually make up some positions, as we see. Wow. I wasn't even paying attention, but in the space of 9 minutes, our leader Vincent Erbrich has pulled a 6.2 second lead over the following cars. I think it's actually already up to 7.5. Again, Vincent Erbrich looking very strong. Runs a little bit wide there, but man, does he seem comfortable in his Ferrari machine. Take it back to the action though. You go to Marcus Lawrence, he's close up right to the back of oh, as he runs, no, doesn't run wide, he's going side by side with Jordan Wansink. Into this corner, oh, Wansink can hold it on the outside there. Have a better run, still side by side. Going into the long downhill section. Still side by side. Going into Crocodile something, whatever that corner is. Man, these guys aren't giving any quarters. Okay, Marcus Lawrence has made the move, has pulled actually ahead. Bit of the squabble they had running side by side has allowed 4th, 5th, and 6th to close right back up though. Likes of Benny Benzel. Oh, Lawrence is trying to pull out of the slipstream there, as he'll be vulnerable to the GTR, of course. Lawrence to the inside, defending. Looked like Wansink wanted to try the undercut there, but now that Lawrence has gotten a bit of clear air, he's trying to pull free there of Wansink. Back down the grid here as Alpha Lobster is fighting with Paul Davies. Alpha Lobster in the Honda, Davies in the Ferrari. Oh, let's see actually. Okay, so... or is that Kessel, actually? Ah, right, okay. So I was mistaken, this is actually Bas Kessel. I thought Paul Davies was still in the race, but obviously he dropped out early during the race, and so it's actually Bas Kessel and Alpha Lobster that are running quite close together. I see a bit further up the road there. We have Thomas Shane, Fetwell, and Short fighting over 11th, 12th, and 13th here. quite close, but it seems no one is really close enough to make a move. Only person in 10th right behind Nick Dealey here. This is about the closest fight. Stake. The previous lap of Domi person was a 42.7. Nick Dealey's previous lap was a 43.6. So Domi is definitely looking to put up a move here. A really good run through that corner. Only about half a second in between the two of them. Domi person close right up onto the back of Dealey here. Going into the last sector downhill. Ooh, almost a bit wide there for Domi, but he keeps it together. Don't know how the Porsche will perform on the straight here, the start-finish straight, but I think the Porsche is a bit down on top speed, so he'll be looking to make his moves under the braking or in the corners, I imagine. If he can get a good run out of the last corner here. I think he has, but so has Dealey. Ooh, Domi person right up to the back. Dealey defends into turn 1. Ooh, pinching him really close there. They go side by side. Not this time. Good defense there from Dealey. I think Dealey is the only Lambo as well that we have on our grid currently. It's a brave choice, to be honest. Very twitchy car, the Lambo. But I mean, I think it's the same with the Porsche. You just have to be on it with those cars to get any pace out of them. It seems both of these guys are doing that quite well, respectively, for their cars. Oh, Domi under braking. Dealey leaves the space. We go into the downhill section here. Yeah, good move from Domi person here. They'll look to defend the inside. Very nice move. Oh, actually runs a bit wide there. Allows Dealey to come back. Oh, this is a tricky corner to go side by side. Ooh, person has to go a bit wide. Yeah, that was an optimistic corner to keep it around the outside, but he tried. This allows Dealey to go back up in 9th. The one that's gone under the radar here is Ruben van den Hudding. He's been slowly crawling his way up. An honorable mention there, Jasper Smelt in front of him in the 2013 Aston Martin, the V8. He's doing quite well himself. I think Van den Hudding is looking to put the move up here. Tested the Aston Martin myself, the V8, and it's actually a rocket on the straight. Ooh, as Van den Hudding goes a bit sideways there. Seems to be juggling the car around the corners. Just a reminder, the drivers have to do one pit stop today. They can do it whenever they want, and they can do whatever they want to their car. So they can opt to take tires, but they don't have to. They can opt to take fuel, but they don't have to. So there is a minimum stop time, I think, of about not sure, about 25 seconds. If you do take tires, you lose 25 seconds anyway. And I think if you take any amount of fuel, that adds another 5 seconds. Doesn't matter how little you take. So a total stop for most people will be around 30 seconds. But I do imagine that, I mean, we do have to see everyone coming in, so... I'm not heading, still looking to put that move on, but Smelt is holding on fairly well there. Yeah, like I said, the V8 Aston Martin, very hard to overtake on a straight. It's a spaceship, a rocket ship when it goes onto any form of straight. So I imagine that it would have done well at this track since it's such a high-speed track. Ooh, Smelt makes a mistake there. Van den Hudding gives him space to rejoin though. And that is move done, I guess, for Van den Hudding. Up into 8th, and now he'll have the clear air, so he'll be looking to push up even further, I imagine. Let's see here, a bit further up the grid. We have Ian Assels, who's actually looking to get closer to our leader. Not our leader. Benzel running in 4th, that is. Going up into the last corner. And Assels, which not that ideal of a run. We lost a bit of time there, I think. Doesn't look at the moment like Ian has that extra little bit to get past Benzel. It'll also be obviously a bit harder for him since he's in the dirty air of Benzel. Within half a second again, assholes. Really attacking the corners now, closing right up to the back of Benzel there. Ooh, wider entry there for assholes. Interesting. Might have a better run down the hill because of this. We come up into the last sector. Into Crocodile Pit Corner, or whatever it's called. Still don't know it. See, again, going into the last corner, if Ian Assels can get a bit of a better run this time around. Ooh, it seems like he does close right up to the back of Benny Benzel. I'll definitely be looking to put up a move into turn 1 here. Benzel going defensive quite early there. Assel's gonna try outbrake him. Ooh. Maybe a cutback for Ian. Ooh, a bit of a slide there on the exit. Alright. Let's take a look at some other people who are running quite close together. Morgan Short here together with Alex Fretwell, both in the McLaren. Morgan has a couple of scrapes on the front of his McLaren there. Quite a bit of a better run for Short there out of that corner, as we see the likes of Alpha Lobster closing up as well. Alpha Lobster at the back there with the Honda is actually running faster than the both of them in front, so he'll be looking to put a move on here soon. You know, the Honda is pretty good on the straights as well, so he'll definitely be benefiting. I think Alpha Lobster dropped down quite a bit from the start there. I think he had a bit of a mare at the beginning, because I believe he was up in 5th or 6th. Mistaken. Really good run out of the corner there, though. Let's see what he can do on the straight here. Let's watch that VTEC kick in. No, hasn't kicked in good enough, I guess. Needs a bit more kicking. Take a look more towards the back here. Some love. Oh, Colin Tuck. Stationary on the track. The outside there. Let's see what happens to him there. He's having a nice run. Oh, just kind of into the S section, just kind of oversteers. Does well to clear his car though, that's good to see. Yeah, so he just moved his car off the track, and I imagine there was quite some other people coming past, so he's just letting them pass as he's, you know, not running for the big prize here, but as we can see, he's going at it. Rubik's, there's no pit window, but there is one required stop. So people have to stop regardless. They can choose to, if they want to take tires, they can. If they want to take fuel, they can. But, you know, a stop can be as much as driving into the pit box. You'll go up on the jacks and go down again. That can be a stop as well if people can really eke out their fuel. I know the Bentley and maybe the Ferrari can, if they really went into like a fuel saving mode, they could make it to the end without tires and fuel change. But I imagine yeah, the green bar means a pit. Actually, you can see as well next to the people's names, there's a 1. In the orange box, there's a number 1, and that actually means they still have to make 1 pit stop. So, yeah. See someone else going into the pit here. Alpha Lobster, I don't know. He's doing an actual stop. Maybe he's just filling up his fuel to go up to the end, or maybe something else happened. We'll take a look back at him soon here. Actually look back to Morgan Short here. Oh, as he's making the overtake. Going side by side with Fretwell here down the hill. To Crocodile Pit, I believe. Oh, runs a little bit wide, and that just throws him off into Crocodile Pit. Oh, he's still managing to pull alongside though. Going into the last corner, tries to pull alongside. He'll get a better run on the straight, I imagine. Bit of a kick out from the rear, but he'll be in the slipstream, so I imagine Fretwell is going to defend. Coming into T1 here. No, they're quite far apart. Seems like Short, I noticed he has a tiny bit of damage on the front there. He might be down on a bit of top speed. Still looking to put on the moves though. Ooh, as Fretwell makes a mistake there, hits the sausage curb. Yeah, Morgan Short is all over him. And Fretwell is just holding on for dear life. Morgan Short still trying to get past Fretwell here. Fretwell is at the moment doing a good job defending, but I don't imagine he can hold on to that for the entire race. Last lap, Morgan Short did a 46.8 and Fretwell did a 46.7, but I imagine that's just because Short is stuck behind him. Not doing too bad though. Take another look here, Domi Person. Closed up again to the back of Dealey as he'll be trying to put on the move once again. Another good run out of turn 1. You can see Dealey is gonna go defensive already. No, the Porsche is really good on the brakes, so there we go. Person is going for it, maybe trying to throw him off a little bit, but doesn't. After a bad start, Person is really trying to push the pace here. Don't know if he has that little bit extra to get past Dealey though. So as we see down in 20th, 19th now, see Alpha Lobster has made a pit stop. Maybe it was an early strategy call, trying to just take the fuel and run in some clean air. And then hoping that people around the mid-pack towards P5-ish are gonna fight with each other, and then Alpha Lobster can take advantage of that. Wide there for Domi Person. Yeah, he's really struggling and ooh, runs a bit wide there again. He's struggling behind Dealey, it seems, in the dirty air. He actually seems to be pretty pacey up until he comes behind that car, and it seems to get a lot harder for him. Let's take a look here at our leader for a second, Vincent Erbrich. He's been just running his race with half an hour past. He's 15 seconds ahead of P2, so again, Vincent Erbrich looking really comfortable in his Ferrari, just running his race. I imagine he put some quite some time into his setups and make it really comfortable for long runs. And actually, as he comes into the last corner, let's go for a couple of laps on board here with the leader, Vincent Erbrich. As we come back here, man, that looks like a smooth ride there in Vincent Erber's car. Hooking up all the corners, nice and easy. Give you a comparison, his last two laps actually were 41s, high 41s. And the closest person behind is Marcus Lawrence, about 17 seconds behind. Just did a 42.5, so we're looking at Erber being I don't know, consistently being half a second to a second faster than these direct competitors, you could say. So yeah, really good job from Vincent Erber so far. But about 55 minutes to go, he still has to pit. I imagine he's gonna try to just cut it halfway. We'll see him pit somewhere around the 45 to 50 minute mark. Or maybe they'll do a longer stint, I guess we'll see. I mean, they're still drawing out the lead, so I imagine he's just waiting for the people behind him to pit so he can just have clear air to keep running. If there's any other fights that are going on. Actually give a little bit of love here to some people we haven't shown today. Shown him very briefly at the start, Mike Assels. Needs to be just running his race. About 10 seconds behind the next car of Young. I think right behind him is a lapped car of sure who that is, but yeah, can't quite tell. But yeah, just been running his own race. Picked up quite a few scrapes along the way, it seems. The Andrew Paul here, also in the Honda, about 5 to 6 seconds behind Assels. Also just running at his own pace with his black and green Honda. Hasn't picked up any scrapes, so it's a good thing, definitely for an Enduro. Let's actually return to the fight here between Domi Person and Nick Dealey, and Domi has actually pulled off the move. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. So there we go, coming up to the front, the start-finish line. Seems like Domi had a really good run. Yeah, just had the speed on Dealey going into turn 1 there. This time he's able to hold it together. Going into the S section. Runs a bit wide there again. But has now actually pulled in front of Dealey, is now in 8th position. I imagine Person is glad that he got past and now in the free air, or in the clean air I should say, he's actually seems to be pulling the gap quite fast now. He is about 12 seconds behind P7 though, but I imagine with the current pace, let's see, and the laps he has been doing. Yeah, he's able to do those 42s once he's in clean air, I believe. I just see him close up to the back of Van den Hudding and the likes towards him, not the middle of the race, but you know, with about 20 to 30 minutes left, he might actually catch up to P5, 6, 7. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Again, so far only 2 people have pitted, being Alpha Lobster and Shane. They've gone for the early pit stop. I imagine they might have just taken fuel and going for that the long running clean air. See now. Oh, here Young is actually closing up the Kessel here. See, the last lap of Alexander Young was a 44.5. Bas Kessel did a 44.9, so 4/10 in it. Guessing Young was wanting to close up there. I think Jos Meersman didn't have that good of a time in 22nd there. He's been standing in the pits now for quite some time. He's already 6 laps behind our leader. Must have had a big off somewhere. Picked up a lot of damage. Young's still about, or Young I should say, still about 1.5 seconds behind there. Give some more love to some people at the back of the field. I think we have a Fizz here letting Person through. Does a good job. Yeah, we can see now Person is really starting to pick up the pace here. It's just on a low 43 there. Faster than the 2 cars in front of him. And he's cutting down on the lead they have quite quickly. But yeah, Hafiz here in 19th. Just running his own race, it seems. I don't know if he had a bad run at the start. Or maybe he's just a little bit off the pace, but you know, as long as he can get around the track. We have someone off there on the side. Not sure who that was. Oh, I believe that was actually Dealey. That was Nick Dealey off the track there, so... yeah, even a bigger gap now for Domi Person. They'll be running in that clean air, trying to catch up to 7th and 6th. Take a look here at Colin Tuck. He's just been running his own race. He's he likes to call himself the gentleman driver of Priory Racing, with Vincent Erbrich being his teammate. I imagine Tuck is the one that brings in the millions of dollars to fund Erbrich's talent, so probably has some deep pockets. And he's picked up a couple of scrapes, I believe, if I'm looking at his car right. But yeah, also just running his race. Oh, as we actually see a couple of people pit there, we have the likes of Dealey, Fretwell, and Jung going into the pits. We're right about at the halfway mark now. So I don't know, Dealey went a bit wide there. Maybe he just ruined his tires going wide and he's gonna try and get a fresh set on there. We'll see as this will see the grid shuffle around a little bit. Oh, Nick Dealey actually has gotten a stop and go. "30 seconds. See if he doesn't look like he did anything malicious. Yeah, I don't know what happened there for him. Strange. Maybe he entered the pits a bit too fast, or... Dealey pulling into the pit again. So we now see the likes of Lawrence and Wansing going in for the pit as well. But yeah, strange that he got that stop and go there. Imagine he must have done something.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
Yeah, that will be a big blow to Dealey there. We see now Person again seems to have had a pretty good stop. He only dropped down to 8th position there with a stop, so seems to have, again, he looks to be a bit of a pit stop maestro, Domi Person. Right at the halfway point now, 44 and a half minutes to go. Only Person coming into the last sector now. We'll see Morgan Short and Phillips going into the pits there. As we now see our leader, Vincent Erbert, coming in. So he's probably responded to the two people behind him, and he's now come in for his pit stop. Let's see here if Marcus Lawrence has gained anything towards Vincent Erbert there with the pit. We're still in the pit at the moment. See Morgan Short coming in, the Knecht coming in, Van den Hudding also coming in for his pit stop. Marcus Lawrence is not going to be happy with the Jasper Smelt in front. Of course, Smelt is, you know, fully allowed to defend his position there. He still has a pit stop to go though, so Lawrence probably lost a little bit of time here. We see now Erbert coming out of the pits. He's still about, I believe, ooh, someone goes off there. That was a big hit. Who was that? Psych up through a little bit. That, no. Oh, that was Hafiz, I think. Oh yeah, just ran a bit wide there over the curbs, and that might have messed up his car completely. That's surely some suspension damage. A big hit. Oh yeah, look at his wheels. His wheels are actually look at that on the straights. His wheels are actually bent. You can see his car bumping around a little bit. Yeah, I bet that car's not feeling too great at the moment. So we still have quite a bit of people to pit. Oh yeah, Hafiz really struggling, look at that. There comes Nick Dealey, who Hafiz choosing to keep going though. Not sure if that's the wisest decision, but I guess he knows that if he pulls into the pits it's probably game over. And he still does have to do his pit stop though. But man, look at that speed difference. With Nick Dealey there, he's really struggling. Ooh, as again he almost runs wide, almost oversteers there in turn 1. Take a look here at our temporary leader. Benny Benzel still has to make his pit, but I guess he can say that he's in P1 for the moment. Seems to be leaving it quite long for his pit stop. Maybe part of his strategy. So do a long run and then perhaps wants to do a low fuel new tires run towards the end, so that he's faster towards the end of the race there. You see Ian Assels going into the pit as well. He just peeled off. There he is in the pits, where he filters out, and then yeah, air brake still about 16 seconds ahead, I believe. Oh no, he's actually I think that the timing is a bit off, but to Marcus Lawrence here in a bit of a world of his own, as he's still in a net P2. 15 or so seconds behind Airbrich. Seems that Airbrich has actually had a bit of a slower lap so far. Yeah, as this race has been going on, field is spread out a bit. Okay, let's take a look at one thing. As I thought he was behind Ian Assels, but never mind. One thing back into 5th. For Smelt. He's staying out for a really long stint, Smelt, in his Aston. Might also be part of his strategy, but man, is that a good sounding car. One's a bit wide there. Keeps it going. Jasper Smelt is looking to do a really long stint here. Not that much going on in the way of battles here. Bas Kessel now goes into the pit, I believe. Yep, there he is. Which everyone is kind of filtering out again as we go on board one sync. So once Kessel's pit is done, there'll only be 4 more people to do a pit stop. One thing coming to lap a car here. As he moves over there. Good sportsmanship. Good racing etiquette, I should say. One thing just a bit in no man's land as well. We finally see Jasper Smelt going into the pit with his Aston Martin. He'll be looking at a short stint, maybe on fresh rubber. Fresh rubber and low fuel, I'm imagining. Ran just under an hour. Or just over an hour, I want to say. Ooh, seems like he missed his pit box a little bit. Alright. Okay, so one of the only people still having to pit is Benny Benzel. He's taking this car on a really long stint. Looking to complete the hour on a stint as well. Just in a bit of no man's land as well. Let's actually see here. I believe if the cameraman can catch up. The only person there just overtook Mike Assels. Mike still has a pit stop to go though, so he might have not put that up that much of a fight. And then Domi is about 18 seconds behind the next car, which is Van den Hudding. So after a bad start, person has managed to make up his ground a bit again. Don't know if he'll close the 18-second gap to the car in front, but he's definitely gonna try. Look back a bit further down here. Just again, cameraman catching up, but Fred was catching up to the back of Young here. Doing the Aston. Fretwell looking very racy, surely wanting to put a move on to Young there. Fretwell actually brake quite a bit later there than Young into the last corner. In a second there, I don't know what the top speed difference is between these cars, but Fretwell will definitely be looking to utilize that slipstream. No major battles at the moment on this track, which is to be expected because the track is so open and flowing. You expect to see a bit more gaps, I guess. And I'm guessing a lot of people aren't that acquainted to the track. Looking at Benny Benzel though, he's only losing time this way. He's running in the mid 43s, while everyone behind of him is running in the 42s. So at this point, Benny Benzel might just be losing time by not pitting, by staying out that long. We now see Mike Assels going into the pit. So Assels has also been one of the people extending his stint quite a bit. Run just under the hour there. Oh, as Fretwell puts the move on onto the inside of Young. Side by side through turn 1. Young gets the better run out of there though. Fretwell's still looking racy though, still looking to put that move on. And a good run out of that corner for Fretwell. Oh, on the inside, into the downhill section there. Go side by side. Oh, Jung goes a bit deep into that corner. Fretwell looking for the cutback. Can't get it. As we go into the long sweeping downhill section here. Fretwell's still looking for that opening. Oh, side by side again. Looking for a bit more pace there, as we see Marcus Lawrence in the back there coming up to lap these two. They'll have to move out of the way, but he's still quite a bit behind them. Still about 2 seconds in between them. Fretwell again trying to put the move on, maybe trying to scare Jung out of his line a little bit. Doesn't work this time though. We'll see, maybe Fretwell can play it smart here, let Lawrence in front of him, and then follow him through as he makes the overtake on Jung. As we have a fizz there in the McLaren, trying to be civil to everyone. Give a fizz, he should be moving out of the way there. Yep, he is. For Lawrence. Good racing etiquette by Fizz. He's displayed it all race. He's not he's letting everyone by quite fairly where he can. Whereas Fretwell runs a bit wide there. Gonna have to make space for Lawrence there. And he does. Now will he use Lawrence to clamp onto the back of Jung and maybe get the overtake? Little steam. Oh, Fretwell has actually run wide there. Interesting. Apologies for the steam pop-up there. I'm sure I turned them off, but Steam is just like, nope. Not gonna do that. Well, Fretwell with a missed opportunity there, as he's now a couple seconds back again, about 3.5. See if there's any other fights developing here. The likes here. Nothing really at the moment. Wow, I'm a bit amazed here. Benny Benzel, he's stretching out his stint long again, but I can hardly imagine this is gaining in time as he makes the mistake there. Still not going into the pit. As he maybe, I mean, he still has to stop. He has to make a stop, so it's not like he can pull a he can do a massive fuel save and then not go in the pit, because he still has to pit. So I don't quite know what his strategy is going to be here, but I guess we'll see here in a couple of laps, because I imagine he can't run much longer here. Let's take a look here again at Van den Hudding. He's been slowly creeping up on Martijn de Knecht. Connect is behind a back marker, I believe. Might be holding him up a little bit. Oh, that is not ideal. Let's see if we can actually get a little bit of a replay off of that. What we see here, the connect behind a back marker. I think that might be Andre Phillips, not sure. Bit loose there going into the last corner. Oh, just a slight tap in the wall, and then Phillips doesn't lock his brakes there. Sends both the connect and Den van den Hudding into the wall for a little tap. Let's hope they haven't picked up too much damage. Yeah, that was with Eddie Phillips. I'm not sure what went wrong there. Maybe the connect just misjudged the speed a little bit of Phillips, because I don't see particularly what went wrong there for Phillips. He just took the racing line, and I guess he might have been a little bit slow on the apex, but there was nothing directly that I could point towards that happening there. Just a bit of a misjudgment, I guess, from the cars behind. Looks to be still running fine there. Let's go back to still our leader, Benny Benzel, who is just pushing his car to the max here, and I mean, I'm not sure. Has he been fuel saving and he's just looking to do a lift up on the jacks and down again to where he doesn't take any tires or fuel, but he just drives into pit, basically does a stop and go? That could be a strategy. Oh, he goes into the pit now. Let's actually see. Has he just done a really long stint, or is he gonna not take any tires or fuel? We'll know straight away here. Has his windshield wiper on. Oh, seems like he's missed his pit box. Has he backed up there a little bit? Yeah, he's staying longer in the pit than he should, so imagine he's taking fuel or tires or whatever, so I can't see a way in which that strategy would have paid off for him. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that. So I believe Benzel is the last one to pit there. And then we will see as he comes out of the pits. I don't know where Jordan Wansink is. Yeah, Jordan Wansink has now passed Benzel, but I believe he just filters out in the same position there, Benzel. So, yeah, I guess his idea was just to run in the clean air for Benzel while everyone else pitted. Let's actually see here. We have Morgan Short closing up to the back of Jasper Smelt. 21 minutes to go. Short's last lap was a 43.7, while Smelt's was a 44.0. Oh, as Morgan actually gets the job done easier than expected. Might be a time for Smelt to come back at him, though. Don't know particularly why Smelt was flashing him. Must have missed it. Yeah, Promo's Morgan Short up into 10th. Looks like Smell is still trying to latch onto the back of Short there. Smelt actually running a little bit wide there. Looks to be really pushing to hang on to Short there. Ooh. Bad exit for Smelt, I think. So Morgan Short up into 10th. The rest, there's not any big battles going on. The field is spread out completely throughout the Enduro. At the moment it doesn't look like there's gonna be any photo finishes at the end, but it can all still change, of course. Someone just has to make a little mistake and yeah, Smelt now ran a little bit wide there. Seems like he's pushing a little bit too much, trying to keep up with Short. Short will be trying to catch up to the likes of Alpha Lobster here. I believe it's Tony Hurst, if I'm not mistaken. Doing respectable in the Honda here. I think he had a really good starting position in 4th, if I believe, 4th or 5th. Dropped down a tiny bit since the start. But he's looking to catch the couple of cars in front there. Has the back marker lets him through there. So with Lobster with the pace at the moment, yeah. Could be catching up to Domi Person in a couple of laps here. Might be towards the end, actually. Let's once more go to our leader, Vincent Erbrich. Again, running a really comfortable race with about a I think he has about a 20-second lead. I'm not sure, can't quite tell on the relative at the moment. I think it's about 20 seconds. Coming onto the back here of imagine that Phillips. Ooh, Phillips making it a little bit awkward there into T1, but did his best to let him through. Yeah, about 20 seconds between Vincent Erbrich and Lawrence. Again, Vincent Erbrich just on the money today. would show you some battles somewhere else, but at the moment there's sadly no battles I can show. Everyone's running their own pace at the moment. The only battle I could see happening sooner is between Alpha Lobster and Domi Person for 8th and 9th position. That might be towards the end of the race though, because their pace is close together. Only a couple of tenths in between the two of them. Oh, as someone goes off, I think that was Mike Asseldares. See if we can take a look at that again. With Mike here, going into the last corner. Oh, it just gets a little bit of oversteer into the entry there of the corner. Ooh. Could have been bad, but yeah. So just a little bit of oversteer on the entry of turn 16 there, and that made him have a spin around. Don't think he lost too much though. Looks like he recovered quite quickly. Take a look at, I guess, his brother, which is Ian Assels. He's been running in 4th. Very good race for him so far, I think. I believe he'll be pleased with the result if he can hang on to it. Pace looking very decent as well, 43.5. Running quite similar pace to the car behind him of Benny Benzel. So as long as he can keep this up, he'll have that 4th position. He'll have that 4th position in his pocket. Runs a little bit wide there. Yep, so Ian Assel's just been running his race in some decent pace, and it's paying off with about 11.5 minutes to go. Could be looking to hold on to P4 here. Someone is around there. Ooh, that might be dangerous. Let's take a look here. Back at Ruben van den Hudding. He's been slowly creeping up here to Martijn de Knecht. Last lap of Van den Hudding was 43.3. Now his last lap was actually a 43.8, and Martijn de Knecht in front has just done a 44.1, so 3/10 in between them, but Hudding has definitely slowly but surely been creeping up to the back of the Knecht here, and he'll be looking to put a move on here fairly quickly. Guessing by the end of this lap if he holds it together. Nope, that's the wrong camera. That's the right one. Let's go forward for this lap here with Van den Hudding. So the gap between these two staying about the same. Van den Hudding might be suffering a little bit from the dirty air, which means Knecht might be able to hold on. Their last lap's looking very similar, only a tenth apart, so very similar pace. About 7.5 minutes to go here. We coming to the close of this race. Vincent Airbridge still looking dominant. He'll just be looking to close this race out. As I was talking before... Oh, what has happened here? See anything? I think Domi Person must have made a mistake somewhere, because he's behind Alpha Lobster right now. Must have missed that somewhere. Yeah, nothing to see here, so I guess it happened earlier in the lap. There's not really any fights developing anymore. We come to the close of this race. Started with about 23 runners, of which we now have 20 left. So at least a lot of people, you know, stayed in it for the whole ride, and that's already a very respectable feat. Someone else here though, Benny Benzel has been slowly creeping up to the back of Ian Assels. With Assels' last lap, he surely made a mistake. Last lap for Ian was a 44.4. And for Benny Benzel it was a 42.7. Benzel closing right up now. Oh, as again a car on the side there, which I believe was Phillips. He seems to be struggling on this track. Trying to keep at it though. Benzel slowly creeping up within 1.5 seconds now. Last lap, his sector times were quite a bit faster in the last two sectors, so this is where Benny will make the most time, I guess. You see that now as well, he's only about 1.1 second behind. But Benny Benzel really trying his hardest to get that P4 in the closing stages of the race here. He's only 1.2 seconds behind. I think Benzel now within a second actually of Ian Assels. He'll surely be looking to put on the move here soon. I think he'd much rather take a 4th over 5th. Or as Assels make a little mistake there, this will allow Benzel to close up. Let's go on board here. Ian has also probably gotten a bit of dirt on his tires, which won't help. sector 3 is, I think, where Benzo made the most time previous lap. See if that's the case again. Benzo now only 8/10 away from Ian. Like I said, he's been slowly creeping up to the back of him. Ooh, as Ian makes a tiny bit of a mistake there, runs slightly wide. Makes Benzo close up right to the back of him. Both going a little bit wide on the exit of that corner. A look here, Benzo is looking hungry. Got about 2 laps to go. Oh, Benzo dropped back a little bit there. We'll head downhill. Oh, Benzo closed right up there. Goes there. Oh, again, slightly wide for Ian Astles. Someone moves out of the way for those two there. Oh, Benzo went for the inside, but wasn't able to make it there. These two will go right down to the wire. Let's see, we'll see Vincent Erbrich. He's on his second to last lap now. So we'll be looking for Benzo to really be making that move. We have something else going on here. Likes of Martijn de Knecht and Van den Hudding, they switched position, but yeah, go back to this fight. Alright, Vincent Erbrich has started the last lap. Which means Benzo has about 1.5 laps to make this move. One more lap after this, but it seems like he just can't quite get onto the back of Astles there. Gap was increased slightly again. Let's take these, let's see here. Benzo pushing really hard, but Astles is holding on very well. Close now, though. Astles again goes a bit wide. This might have given Benzo a better run here. Quick look here as Vincent Erbrich wins round 6 at Kyalami. Comfortable win. Good race from him, but let's go back to this fight over here, which is Ian Astles against Benny Benzo, as they'll be going right down to the line, I think, for P4 and 5. Benzo trying to get a bit of a undercut here, or a cutback. Marcus Lawrence has also finished The likes of Lobster and Person and Fretwell also finishing. Seems like Benny Benzel just doesn't have that extra little bit to push him over the line there. Well, he does, but not to overtake Astles, I should say. Alright, it looks like Astles is holding on until the end here. See the smoke screens going off. 4th for Astles, 5th for Benzel. Good race between the two. See the likes of Jordan Wansink finished in 3rd. See some other finishers here. Ruben van den Hudding, very respectable performance there, finishing in 6th. And a couple seconds behind him we have Martin de Knecht. Looks happy by the flashing of the lights. Yep, Shane there coming across the line. And then Bentley in 15th. We'll look towards Hafiz, one of the last finishers here. There we go. As he comes across the line. Alright, a quick summary. Again, if we look at our leader here, Vincent Erbich. Again, has been dominant throughout the race. Just looking really comfortable on this track. And he has had little resistance to deal with as he's just ran his race really smoothly. And then he'll surely be happy because he's extending that lead once again over the number 2 in the standings. We'll see here. Marcus Lawrence finished in 2nd. Overall, a good race for him. I think he would have liked to have done a bit better though. As he'd really like to contest that P1, I'm sure. And then also a really good position here for Jordan Wansink in 3rd. Has also just kind of run his race and looked really good. In 4th we have Assels. In 5th finishing we have Van den Hudding. Then the Knecht. In 7th we have Alpha Lobster. The only person in 8th. Short in 9th. Smelt in 10th. Jung in 11th. Dealey in 12th. Kessel in 13th. Shane in 14th. Assels in 15th. Fretwell in 16th. In 17th. I don't know anymore because the session changed. But overall, good endurance race. Congrats to everyone that kept it out. And if anyone watching would be interested in joining our league, you can find all the information at www.pcdc.link. I've been Husky, and we'll see you next week for the next round of the PCDC Motorsports ACC League. Goodbye.